Hi, my name is Andrew Kopf, and this is the user interface for the employee management app that I created. My company has a few problems that this app is designed to tackle. The first is lunch breaks in California are mandatory after a maximum of 5 hours of work. Generally at 4 hours is when you're supposed to take your lunch, but these are regularly missed. The second issue we have is dispatch does not always know which service technician has the least amount of hours and will overcommit certain employees, making them go over to overtime and underutilize other ones. The last issue we have is a lack of GPS knowledge of where our service technicians are for dispatch. Dispatch will be mainly using this app, and this is going to bring in information from Workforce, which is our time tracking app, and Verizon Connect, our GPS tracking of trucks, into a single location for them to make these decisions better. I started by choosing a typeface. We went with Roboto because it's pretty out there with Android and is easy to read. We weren't really trying to reinvent the wheel here. We just wanted something that people are familiar with. We also created some icons and logos, one for lunch, one for time clock, and a map app. And we also created a icon for the app itself, which is a worker with the various icons surrounding them. We started off with our wireframes. The first iteration had them going in and out depending on whether or not they wanted to look at lunchtime time worked or finding a closest person with a login and register button at the bottom. This was kind of a poor use of space, so we changed it to have employee cards where they could just change the sorting based on which of the bottom icons they chose. This was originally going to be text-based, but after thinking about it for a while, I thought a graphical representation in the form of a bar would be better, because it'd be easier to quickly see, especially with color coding, who was near the limits or at the lower end. Once we started doing the hi-fi designs and adding some color, we first created the one on the left, but the brown was kind of interfering with seeing the black lines, and it was suggested that we choose a different background color for certainly the top and bottom bar. That led us to iterate on that with a few other color choices. I'm still not 100% sold on the one I chose, but we went with the middle one with the blue as I thought it stood out a bit more in the dull gray. The colors themselves are designed to kind of invoke the construction atmosphere, which you see a lot of reds and oranges, indicating danger and warnings, and got some blues in there for contrast. These are our boards that make up our prototype. It starts with the splash screen where you log in or register. I'm particularly fond of overlays, so the login and register show up as an overlay over the main page. Speaking of overlays, I've incorporated the Android hamburger menu, which is fairly common as well. The employees are scrollable, obviously, and along the bottom you can choose to sort whether or not by who is closest to their lunch limit, the amount of time they have on the clock, starting with the person with the least amount of time worked that week, and then adding in an address to find who is closest to a particular call. You do hit the location button, it brings up another overlay where you can type in an address and then it'll search for the people that are closest. Included in this Adobe PDF is a video of this app or the user interface in action, along with an interactive prototype you can play with. I want to thank you for your time and have a great semester.